Alright, so I wanted to do an update video on this 2022 tax season. So April 18th, 2022 was the filing deadline for Form 1040s this year. Of course, unless you extended it with a 4868, that moves it out to October. So you got another 6 months. So it's currently first week of May. So we've had a few weeks for the dust to settle after the deadline. So I want to give you an update on kind of what we're seeing so far and what next steps you need to take if you're having problems. So I'm hoping that if you're watching this, everything's gone smoothly, right? You filed, you got the return accepted and processed relatively quickly, and you got the refund that you were expecting. Now, what if you're not in that lot? Well, there's been a lot of issues this year. This has probably been one of the worst years I've ever seen in the over decade I've been in the tax practice. So as far as the refund timelines, the IRS continues to claim that 21 days is generally how long it takes to get your refund. So as soon as you file, you're waiting for that e-file confirmation. Let's say it's 1 or 2 days maybe. 21 days from that point going forward, you should have your refund check deposited into your bank account. Obviously, a lot of people have not had that happen yet. Returns are taking longer for a number of reasons, right? E-filing is the best method, period. If you paper filed, I'm sorry, but this video is probably too early for you. Paper filings are going to take months, probably 8 to 12 months to get anything processed, just because they get too much mail. They can't sift through the mail in a timely fashion. So if you paper filed, you're going to be waiting a long time. Now, why were electronically filed returns taking longer? Number one reason, I think, was definitely identity verification. So identity theft in the tax space has really ramped up the last few years. So basically, people are stealing your identity and your W-2, and they're filing a return on your behalf without you knowing and getting the refund check mailed to them. Okay? It's terrible, right? So in order to prevent that from happening, the IRS is making taxpayers verify their identities so they can be certain that is definitely you that's filing your return so you can get your tax refund. Now, other issues were math errors, right? So math errors, if you're missing a form, if you didn't check a certain box, the premium tax credit, the 8962, if you got a 1095A and you didn't include that with your return, you'll get a rejection notice or maybe a delay. So a number of litany issues, but I think the identity verification is definitely the number one, which is why it's being delayed. Other issues that happen every year are always, well, if the IRS just flags your return for further review because they see something suspicious, then it's going to take a while because now it goes into a pool where somebody has to actually look at it, right? And they only have limited resources. Now, what if your return was adjusted? Okay, so you filed your return, it was accepted, and you got a refund check, but it wasn't what you expected. So if you were expecting a refund check for $3,000 and it was cut in half, what went wrong? Well, they're supposed to send you a notice that kind of lays out the reasons for why it was adjusted. The two biggest issues I'm seeing, number one is the third stimulus check. So the EIP3 payment that went out in January 2021, this was that $1,400 check per person. If you didn't get that, you were supposed to claim it again on this year's return, right? Now, what a lot of taxpayers that prepared their own returns did wrong, when they were going through the software, they accidentally checked the box to basically add it back again. So if you already got your payment and you check the box to add it again, when you file your return, the IRS is automatically going to flag that and they're going to reduce your refund. So it's not as if the IRS is shorting you money that you were owed. They're just correcting for your mistake. Now, that's not always the case, right? I mean, if you never got that EIP3 payment, and so you correctly checked the box that said, I didn't get it, and I want to add it to my current year return, and then they still adjust it, well, now you have a valid claim, right? Now the IRS thinks you got this payment, you didn't, so you go down the separate avenue to try to reclaim it again by filing a 3911 form and plead your case. The other one, this is always big every year, the EIC and CTC. So EIC is the Earned Income Tax Credit. CTC is the Child Tax Credit. These amounts If you claim dependents that you shouldn't have, if you have a partner that already claimed them, so you were ineligible to claim a child twice, the earned income credit, if you don't have enough earned income, if you have too much unearned income, that can ruin your eligibility. The IRS system tries to automatically pick up on a lot of this, and so if they do, they will automatically adjust your refund. Normally it's always down, because they don't think that you rightfully deserve this money. Now, what if you're still waiting on your 2020 return? Now, this is really, really bad. So 2020, because of COVID, created some significant delays. So at the start of the tax season this year, the IRS still hadn't processed over 8 million returns from the prior period. And the reason why this is so problematic is because when you want to e-file your return for this year, you have to input your last year's AGI. And if the return hasn't been processed yet, then you have no AGI, because the return that you file with the IRS is still sitting on somebody's desk somewhere. So the workaround for this year, so if you didn't get a chance to file, or you extended because of this reason, the workaround is to enter a 0 for your AGI for 2020 in the e-filing validation screen, right? So whatever tax platform you're using, tax software platform that is, when it asks you to verify your identity and you have to enter last year's AGI, just put 0. And the reason why that'll work is because right now the system is showing a 0 for 2020 because they haven't processed the return. So it's kind of obvious, but they did come out with this workaround, and we've been using it. I've used it for clients, and it's working. So that at least gets you the ability to file your 2021 tax return and then give the IRS time to catch up with 2020. So that covers everything I wanted to address in this video. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Again, if you're still waiting, I hope everything processes as soon as possible for you. I know how frustrating it is to be waiting in the IRS to give you back money that you're rightfully owed. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thanks.